Wooden Sensei is a platformer that aims to create a world of Japanese steam rock, but is it madcap genius, or a failed attempt to stand out? Wooden Sensei follows a village chief named Goro. Supplies from his village are stolen, and so he must chase down the demons who stole them in order to get them back and save his village. The story is used to mock generic Japanese cinema, but the idea becomes stale very quickly, and soon just becomes offensive. Wooden Sensei's gameplay is like many other platformers, except that there is a heavier focus on combat rather than jumping. This takes its toll on the gameplay, as the combat is extremely flawed. There are no combos, and new weapons unlocked later in the game tend to be worse than the weapons you start with. You can simply run through the level, as touching an enemy does no damage, and at points where you must defeat enemies, the AI is beyond stupid. Wooden Sensei attempts to be a modern platform with an old school twist, but ultimately, the game's bugs disrupt the experience. After getting hit, there's no small period of invincibility, and bad level design often means you can get stuck and die within a few seconds. While other games have shown us that depth shouldn't deter the player from playing, Wooden Sensei misses the mark by a long shot. However, one of the game's successes is its use of 2.5D. Most games only use it to make 2D platformers look better, but Wooden Sensei constantly changes its camera angles to make the 2.5D actually recognizable. There are only 10 levels, but even worse is that the water level is third, which, as a convention of the genre, is extremely frustrating. The art style of Wooden Sensei is quite charming, almost as if the characters are small toys. However, this ultimately works against it when the charm wears off. The small number of polygons on each character model becomes very noticeable and makes the graphics seem outdated. The strange black blobs that trudge around in the world are also far from creative, making the fighting levels forgettable. On the other hand though, the music is one of the highlights, providing a mix between metal and traditional Japanese genres, making something that is both interesting and unique. Wooden Sensei almost becomes smart. It has some great music, but the hit and miss controls, lackluster humour, and boring enemies make it a game that isn't worth the full price tag, and that's where it gets a 6 out of 10.